So we're back at it again here, folks. And today, I recently came across an article, and the article was talking about late stage capitalism. Now, just to kind of define what late stage capitalism is, which is basically what we're in right now as a society, it's basically just a capitalism characterized by extreme inequalities, hyper-consumerism, globalization, financialization, and basically just commodification of everything. If you notice, if you're, out and about, is that, healthcare expenses, they're absolutely outrageous. Um, eh, College expenses, absolutely outrageous. They have cryptocurrency, which has no linking to any financial commodity or anything physical whatsoever. It goes up and it goes down. And that to me is of course crazy. Because the powers that be are basically commodifying everything. Um, as far as in with inequality, you hear about this in the news about there's a big wealth gap between the rich and the poor, consumerism and debt. They'll call you see these consumer agencies. They'll call you 80 times in a day to get your money. Globalization, commodification, everything's about money, money, money. You may like it, you may hate it, but that's just where we're at right now. But one of the things I was researching is, well, since we're in this genre that we're in, as far as late stage capitalism, well, how do you take advantage of it? Any entrepreneur knows that if you have a situation, you want it played out the best you can, right? And as part of that, since we're in late stage capitalism, commodification of everything, high healthcare cost, high schooling costs, cryptocurrency that has no linking to anything. Well, how do you take advantage of it, right? So what I did was I did some research, and I came up with some interesting solutions. So first off is, you want to capitalize off of the wealth disparity, as far as invest in yourself, and as far as, do it in stocks, so through your 401k, through your IRA. I see a lot of these people that run away. They're afraid of putting it into an ETF or a mutual fund or some broad-based index, and instead of running away, run towards it, and that will create a situation where you'll be significantly much better. And also, I see some people, buying rental properties, which, good for them. They use their entrepreneurial skills to make some money, and the money they have saved up, of course, they, put a down payment on a house, and hopefully they get a renter and get somebody in there. And then also what I would do, another good idea, is to invest in essential/tech services. As far as, going about your daily life, you need to find areas where technology and capitalism create needs, right? So, support for digital services, maintenance, tech skills, things like that. Certainly you don't have to be super tech savvy. You don't have to start the next Microsoft or whatever it is. Just find an area in your daily life or in work or home or wherever it may be where you can do things more efficiently. Use Chat GPT or whatever other alternative to AI that you can do to make your life and if you can in your business life more efficient. More efficiency gets more money, and ask questions, get involved. That's a good way to do it. And even in your career life, as far as developing skills, you want to develop high level skills as far as taking advantage of the late stage capitalism. Focus on skills that are in demand. Don't just keep doing the same thing, because when you do the same thing, you're going to expect the same results. And in doing that, you'll definitely be a lot better off, because you need to keep up. There's a reason the dinosaurs went extinct, because they never evolved. And don't be a dinosaur, so to speak. And of course, in doing this as well, and just observing your daily life between work and home and wherever else you go in life, is you want to recognize the services that offer convenience and tie them to whatever you're doing in life. So at home, how could you be more efficient? How could you do things better? You want to build skills that reduce reliance on other solutions. So instead of, having a cleaner come in and clean your house every week, maybe you can get a Roomba to do it for you. That'll save you money. That's technology at work. Or Chat GPT to come up with interesting solutions to solving your problems that you may view as too expensive. And that'll definitely help you out. But just, whatever area you're on, I mean, I could be here all day listing, problems and solutions to them. But just kind of always be thinking, always be, developing, always be sharpening your tool. And then, even in your daily life, you want to develop a niche as far as, having a side hustle. If you have a full-time job, maybe get a part-time job. I can tell you from an entrepreneur's perspective, I always dreamed of being self-employed, but I never had, I kind of just went through the typical path of, I went to school and then I got a job, and, nobody really kind of gave me a business, or nobody kind of told me what to do. I kind of had to figure it out for myself. And, but I can tell you is, just because you don't start out of the gate really fast, it doesn't mean that's where you end up in life. So there's still hope. I live in America, so it's one of the greatest countries in the world, but where you start out is not where you end up. I can tell you that definitely. I mean, my starting out in life, I'll be honest with you, my grades weren't the best. I tried hard, and even when I started working, I got 2 or 3 jobs because I had that mental attitude, that can-do mental attitude. I just didn't have the opportunity. But you always, even if you don't use your career skills then and there, always be ready. Always be focusing on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because, like I said, where you start out is not where you end up. And America, or whatever country you're in, the government wants to give you opportunity. Now, they're not going to give it to you on a silver platter. They're not going to say, here you go, here's $1 million or $1 billion or whatever it is. You have to go out and figure it out for yourself. Because if it was so easy, everyone would do it. But it's not. So you have to kind of figure it out. But, you can do this. I believe in you. But just a little bit about us, myself and my partner. We have a bookkeeping business, over 15 years of experience. So I've seen almost any and all small businesses, but we've seen what works and what doesn't work. But you always got to be asking questions. Always got to be, quote unquote, sharpening that knife, so to speak, for the next big adventure. So, if you like us, you love us, you want more of us, click like and subscribe. Until next time, and stay awesome.